Okay, we're online now. Okay, our apologies. Our apologies, we lost our network. I think this is where I was before I lost the network. So scientists have found a way of combining glass ionomer cements with resin or compost resin. So depending on the proportion of compost resin added, it can result in two products known as combomers or resin modified glass ionomers, RMGIC. These materials are placed much in the same way as composite filling materials. I'm projecting the examples of glass ionomer cements. That's the casing or the package. And that's the containers when we remove them from the package. You've got your liquid part and your powder part, and you mix the two. They come in a variety of brands. This is another brand on your right side, also powder and liquid. Our next category of dental material is our bases and liners. Many dental materials, cements in particular, come in powder and liquid form. And others come in as a two-paste system, and a few come as capsules dispensed using a syringe or a gun. They are mixed manually in precise ratios to obtain a specific consistency. And that's the job of a dental assistant, to know what proportions of each you need to incorporate and for how long you need to spatulate or to mix. Usually it's 50-50, but otherwise, if you're not sure, you read the material data safety sheet, which is enclosed in the package. Many of them, they're hardened by self-curing, but others also do need the blue light for curing, while a few do use what we call dual curing. Dual curing means they are self-curing, but they also need a boost with the light curing. And obviously, this type of material, the dual curing, have an added advantage that long after you've stopped the light curing, they continue to harden on their own. So dental materials are also used in the form of bases, liners, and also for cementing things like crowns, bridges, inlays, and onlays. And which ones are these? There are many, but we can roughly classify them as zinc phosphate cement. When we train you, we want you to be able to give the generic name like zinc phosphate cement, but also give us brand names. Because often in the dental surgery, we use brand names, but you've got to know which brand belongs to which generic classification. So zinc phosphate cement is an example of a generic classification of a dental cement, base or liner. We also have the zinc oxide and eugenol cements, the zinc polycarboxylate cements. I've already talked about glass ionomers, which apart from being used for fillings, they can also be used for bases, liners, as well as for luting. I've already mentioned the resin modified glass ionomer cements. Then we do have the calcium hydroxide cements, we have curved varnishes, and we have miscellaneous other materials. Let's go back to zinc phosphate cements. This is an example of a very popular zinc phosphate cement, high bond. So when you look at this package here, high bond is your brand name. But luckily here, the manufacturer also did put the generic name here, zinc phosphate cement, so you can't miss it. It comes in a liquid and a powder form. It's one of the oldest dental cement, and it's very reliable as a base or even as a luting cement. I often call this the gold standard of all dental cements because it needs a very complicated mixing technique. So once you master how to mix a zinc phosphate cement, the rest of the cements become much easier. You mix it by incorporating powder or liquid slowly in small portions, and when it mixes, or when you are mixing it, it produces heat, which means it's an exothermic dental material. Those of you who did science, I'm sure many of you did science at school, you remember the exothermic reaction versus the endothermic reaction. The zinc phosphate cement is now not being used a lot because it can irritate the dental nerve. Then we go to the time is up. Okay, our time is up. We'll end at zinc polycarboxylate cement. I think we lost a bit of time when we lost the network. So please do read up on the zinc polycarboxylate cements, the zinc oxide and eugenol cement, which is still being used a lot in the dental surgery, calcium hydroxide. Then we'll also go into preventive materials, our pit and fissure sealants, topical fluoride application, cavity varnish. Then eventually we'll go into impression materials. Thank you very much for tuning in. We meet again on a date to be advised in September. Thank you. Bye-bye. Can you put my picture on? Are you still there, Opportunity?
Yes, I'm there, Doc.
We apologize for loss of network. You know, this is Zimbabwe. You need to think outside the box. But was this useful? Was this presentation useful?
Yes, it was very useful.
Let's get reactions from others. We have Kariba there. Was this useful? Need to unmute. Are you still there, Kariba Breeze? Is Kariba Breeze still there? Oh, we seem to have lost Kariba Breeze there. Who else can?
No, yes, sir. Thank you for the lesson. It's very useful.
Okay. All right, yes. We have Violet here. Violet, give us your reaction. Violet Nyoni.